Billy, Locks was telling us about having rehearsed going for two, going into this game. What's the message that sends to you guys that you're going to take this game to win and not settle for the tie?
Yeah, I think always just taking on the personality of the head coach, the play caller, just being aggressive, knowing that like he says, we're going to take or earn everything we get. When it came to going for two, I think I don't think any of us second guessed it or kind of hesitated. It was just another play, and we got it at the 3-yard line, and we had called that play multiple times in practice. Coach Gaddis, Coach Locks, the offense staff did a great job of setting that play up and teaching it the right way. Kind of me knowing the answers of what the defense did. We got to look, and the receivers did a good job making the play. But I think just goes for everyone to know that we want to be aggressive, whether it's throwing the ball, running the ball, whatever it is. That offensively we kind of want to have that hunting mentality. We're not getting hunted. We're doing the hunting. And just continue to be aggressive, and we're gonna take shots. We're gonna continue to push the ball down the field, continue to be aggressive on that standpoint, and never kind of get play scared, you could say.
Billy, with Cam obviously entering the portal this week, I think you have a unique perspective on it because you were a backup for a long time. Can you just explain to backup quarterback position doesn't get a lot of spotlight, how hard that role is, and why do you think Cam decided to enter in the middle of the season?
Yeah, it's tough being in that position. First of all, obviously, right, wishing the best of luck. He's a heck of a player, and whenever he figures out where he's going to go, I hope he ends up in a good spot for him. That allows him to go there and have a good chance to play and showcase his abilities. Obviously, right, someone that has transferred, and I was a backup for 2 years, 2 seasons. It definitely is tough, and the nature of college football nowadays with the portal and kind of all the moving parts. It gets, you get put in those situations where, you got to do what's best for you. And, we all wish him the best. Like I said, I think we're in middle of October, so whenever that portal opens, the window opens, and, he's able to find a spot for him, we hope it's somewhere good for him that he can play and be successful for. Obviously, for me, I hope it's somewhere we don't have to play, right? So we don't have to play an old teammate. But that position's tough, and, it's hard. Just like the nature of it, you got to make a business decision, the best decision for you, you, yourself, your family, your party. So we wish them the best of luck, and obviously it sucks with doing it in the middle of the season because we're going to miss them having around the facility, and obviously me in the quarterback room, always having someone that I can rely on, someone that I shared a lot of similarities with, and in our career so far and experiences that we went through together. But it's tough. That's as someone that has transferred and has seen other people transfer, right? Obviously had roommates and close friends on the team transfer in previous years. It's part of the business. So you just got embrace them, love on them, wish them the best of luck, and then you continue on your thing.
What made you because did it ever approach your mind about maybe transferring in the 2 years here when you were a backup, and what made you decide to stay?
Yeah, I don't think it ever came, I don't think it was ever a thought in my head. Obviously, right, already transferring once, coming here knowing the opportunity that I had, whether it was, in the first year here or the third year, as I found out. But I just, I think I had a good mindset. I had a good people, a good circle in my party of just, trying to play the long game, being consistent. Whether I was playing, getting opportunities to play in the first 2 years or not, just knowing, trying to make the most of the time. Obviously, being a backup, being around really good coaches, a really good system, and being behind Talia, being able to learn a lot. So I don't think it ever crossed my mind. I think, so far it's played out, almost to a T of how I wanted it to. Knowing that, in those 2 years of not playing or not starting and, obviously getting opportunities to play, it taught me a lot that, has allowed me to have, some of the success I've had so far this year, and that'll help me, those things I learned in the 2 years being a backup, and even my freshman year at Wake Forest, I learned a lot of valuable lessons that'll help me, for the rest of my playing career. So I don't think it was ever a thought. I think, at some point, what I tell younger guys is regardless of when you're making the decision to commit to a school at a high school or transfer, you're going to have some sort of regret, but when you make the decision and you go where you go, you have to make the best of the most of the opportunity. And obviously, when I committed to high school, and it's the landscape of it has changed a lot since I was recruited, which obviously makes it tougher on especially 17, 18-year-old players that have to make these decisions to commit and to transfer and things of that nature. But I think I just tried to keep the mentality of just making the most of the opportunities I was given here, which I felt like I did over the last 2 seasons, and then put me in a good position where I could compete for the job this year and just continue to take advantage of every opportunity I get.
Billy, you currently lead the Big Ten in passing yards per game. Talia set Big Ten records while he was here. What is it about this offense that's so user-friendly, quarterback-friendly, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think just the scheme, the longevity of it. Coach Locks, when I sit there and watch tape with him at night, he can pull up film of running the same plays when I was probably 5 or 6 years old. So I always joke for him. I'm like, oh, did you run this play in 1985? Like what film are we watching today? So I think just the success it's had over the years at multiple different stops, playing against, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, playing against, all sorts of types of opponents, having athletic quarterbacks, not athletic quarterbacks, having a bunch of good receivers, having, not as many skillful players. It's just had a lot of success. And then obviously here, the way we recruit skilled players makes my job a lot easier to have guys that I can distribute the ball to and let them kind of do their thing and be special. It makes it a lot easier for me. So just the success it's had, and the many stops it's gone through, the trials that it's gone through, and it's battle tested, the system is. So once you kind of get the system down and the ins and outs of it, and you can know it like the back of your hand, it's pretty much successful against, anything we see. Every play has a lot of answers to it, which allows, the offense as a whole and myself to be successful. So I think just the longevity of it, seeing, obviously my brother was in the same system when he was a quarterback at Alabama, seeing some of that stuff. I've, been familiar with this terminology since I was probably like 14, 15 years old. So it's just, it's fun to see it on tape for, over multiple years and then get a chance to run it, and, have successful plays with it, in my playing career on Saturdays. It makes it fun to, be a part of that process and play in it.
Does your brother show up on any of the plays that Coach Locks shows you?
Probably not. Sorry, Kyle. More so, he's probably standing on the sideline holding like a board or something or signaling. But he's in a few. He's got a few 7-on-7 tapes from when he was at Alabama. But no, it's more so, a little bit more skillful players and Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, Tua, things of that nature. So no, yeah, he doesn't. But he's somewhere in there. I know he's somewhere hidden in the crowd in those films.
Minnesota ranks second in the Big Ten, stopping the pass, 13 interceptions so far this season, leads the conference. What do they do, scheme and execution, that is going to make Saturday a tough challenge for you?
Yeah, they, obviously I heard a similar question to Ak, and, his answer was spot on. They play together. Their defense, is they play all 11 in sync. Very similar to, a lot of Big Ten West teams, or, what was the Big Ten West, and kind of how they go about their business defensively. They know what they're good at. And they run it a lot and they run it well. And then just in the back end, they got, a young safety that's playing really good right now. They obviously have the transfer corner, number 2, who's playing really, really good football right now. And they all play in sync. They all play the ball really well. They're all aggressive. So I think, as an offense as a whole, but definitely in the skill room, we're excited for the challenge to, go up against, some of the best secondary that we'll face all year, that we have faced all year. So they do a really good job playing together. The defensive coordinator's done a great job. He recruited me when he was at JMU back in, I think, 2019. So I've known him really well. My dad was a defensive coordinator in high school, so they got along really well. So I've known him, very good coach, good person. And he's done a really good job of getting those guys to, play together and play really good football in their scheme. So it'll be a good challenge. I think, all of us, we're just excited to, embrace it every opportunity, whether, good or bad. It's a good challenge for us to go out there and compete and kind of show what we can do. So they do a good job playing together. I think the biggest thing for us is always going to come down to us just executing and, making sure we take care of our things, on all phases of offense, whether it's run game, pass game, blocking on the perimeter, getting the extension of the run game going, early especially. So I think we're all excited for the challenge to, go up there and go against some of the best and see what we can do.
Billy, psychologically, how much different is it knowing that you guys have your first Big Ten win and you're 4-3 rather than 3-4?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I think it, the messaging this week of having, that kind of desperate feeling of knowing that, we don't have anything to lose and we still want to be aggressive and not to get complacent. I think it doesn't change too much. I think that's the messaging of the week, is just to continue, having that chip on our shoulder mentality that, we feel like we've had over the last couple of weeks when we faced adversity and, haven't won some games that we feel like we could have. So it definitely helps, in terms of the mood of the locker room and the facility. But I think we all want to keep kind of that edge to us, and knowing that, every game, from here on out is going to be a dogfight. We're playing Big Ten football. We're playing really good teams. So we need to continue to have that kind of chip on our shoulder mentality, the aggressiveness, knowing that, we got to go out there and take every game we want, or earn it, because it's not going to be easy. So the win this past Saturday definitely helped with kind of the morale of the team. But I think we all got to keep that same kind of desperate mentality of, we got to go out there and hunt, not be hunted, because every game's going to be a dogfight, come down to the fourth quarter. So it definitely helped us, but I think we're all just trying to keep that desperate mentality, almost kind of keep the mentality of like we lost this game, to that we want to still stay aggressive, and continue to get after things the right way, especially in practice during the week, so that we can be confident, come Saturday when we have to go out there and play a game.
And now you have a chance to be 5-3 before the second bye. How critical is that? Is that motivation for you and your teammates?
Yeah, definitely. As we say, this next game is the biggest game because it's the next one on the schedule. Obviously, with how our schedule, plays out the rest of the year, this is a huge game, like as every game is. So I think, we're all just excited for the opportunity. Minnesota's playing pretty good football. They've had, some games that they've lost that they definitely could have won. So, their record kind of doesn't speak for how good they play, especially defensively. So I think we're excited for the challenge. And, we got ourselves a good win last week, one that we obviously needed, across the board. But I think we're all, on to this week now, trying to flush that, this past week's game, flush it and, get after it this week so we can, do the necessary things Monday through Friday, focus on the process to give ourselves the best chance to go up to Minnesota and come away with a victory.
Billy, obviously career highs in receptions and receiving yards for Octavian this past weekend. Being with him the last 3 years here, how have you noticed him kind of developed on and off the field?
Yeah, he's definitely. I think it was probably sometime at the end of the summer, right before going into fall camp. You really started seeing him take the next step. He started practicing his tail off, being full speed, never have to worry about him not, taking a play off in practice. He's going, 100 miles per hour. As, when me and Coach Locks talk, he kind of reminds us of like a younger Ty Felton when Ty was younger, and, he'd come out there and run with his hair on fire. So I think his practice habits that, he kind of changed or continued to mature and develop in has, led to him having the success on the field, but also off the field, maturity-wise, just knowing that, he had a really good opportunity for himself this year to come in and play, a critical role in that receiver room and have an impact offensively. And, I think he's seized every opportunity he's got so far. And, he made some, heck of a catches on that first touchdown in the end zone. And then obviously, he had, I think, 8 or 9 catches on the game. So he's playing really good football right now. And I just, credit his practice habits, that he gets after it, and, knows that he has to practice hard and get after it in the film room hard Monday through Friday, so that he can go out there and, cut it loose on Saturday. So I think just the maturity level that he shows, his practice habits have gotten a lot better. And then I think, the on-the-field stuff has helped with the off-the-field just maturity and continue to develop, and, become more confident player in himself. And I think across the board, when you ask anyone on the team, especially offense, we've seen it. I've definitely seen it. And, I think the game will continue to reward him as long as he continues to do the right things and keep improving like he has week to week.
And with you guys both being primary backups the last 2 years, how have those second-team reps helped translate to Saturdays?
Yeah, just, as Coach Locks always said, going into this year, I feel like I didn't have, a whole ton of game experience, but overall in the system, just, we had hundreds of bank reps in practice. And I think, as I got older and, more mature as a player, just realizing that, like, I didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to play on Saturdays, but the games, my games were every day in practice because I didn't know when my opportunity was going to come. And I think, Ak has taken that same mentality on, throughout the past 2 or 3 seasons here. So, we always kind of treat practice as our game day. And then when you have success in practice and, going against a defense like we have of ours, some really good defensive backs, then it helped with the confidence to know that we can go out there against, whoever lines up across us on Saturday and still have that same confidence level, and, the confidence and the ability for us to execute at a high level. So I think it's paid off. I think it just goes back to, guys like Octavian Smith, Ryan Manning, you saw getting there a little bit. Obviously, Ty and KP, older guys in the room, just, taking their practice habits to the next level, knowing that, they got to get after it and treat every day, as important as we treat Saturdays, and then it leads to their success on the field on Saturdays.
Billy, what goes into directing a comeback in the fourth quarter when you're down a couple touchdowns? Just as the quarterback, like, what do you do to stay poised and stay calm, and what's the communication like between you and the other players in the huddle when all that stuff's happening?
Yeah, I think the first thing, is just complimentary football. Obviously, with the defense getting stops when we needed it, special teams had an impact, getting us the ball there at the end, and then offensively, us when we get the ball, taking advantage of the opportunity we have. I'd say that's the first thing. And then the second thing, obviously, right when, through the pick at the end of the third quarter, Southern Cal went down and scored. We were down 14 with, 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. It was a very similar situation we were in the week before against Northwestern. And, I think we were down 14 against Northwestern. I threw a pick. And that kind of took the game away where we didn't really have a chance. So I think going, walking back out there down 14 in the fourth quarter, I think I learned from the previous week to where I feel like I forced things a little bit too much when we were down 14. Obviously, felt like we were against the clock and made a bad decision. And, coming out there, I was like, don't abandon my training. Just continue. We have plenty of time. Our defense is playing good right now. Right now the main goal is just to go down there and lead a touchdown drive. And, whatever fashion it is, we just got to get in the end zone this drive. We had a good drive offensively. It was great play calling. We were able to execute. We got in there, I think, with like 10 minutes left. And then, as long as you can keep it a one-possession ball game in the fourth quarter, it's anybody's game. And, we're comfortable being in that situation with just kind of the mentality we have as a team. So just, there wasn't too much communication, just knowing that, hey, we're still in this game. And then I think a lot of it fell on me, learning from my mistakes in the Northwestern game to not go out there and press it and force it. And knowing that, we have plenty of time. Even though we're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and just, that one drive was just get the ball in the end zone, and then, we'll be down 7-6 points. We'll be down 1 possession, and then it's anybody's ball game during the fourth quarter. So I think it was just me trying to learn from my mistakes the week before, going out there and just, executing the play calls and handling the call, to the best of my ability and, give us a good chance to be successful. Appreciate it.